with your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
Would you like to start the show with a fun stat?
Yes, I would.
Stat.
What's your stat, Adam?
Okay, listen. I don't know.
Jesse, can you turn down my headphones? Sorry, it's just it's noisy.
Since January 9th, the Leafs are an .876 save percentage, which ranks last in the NHL.
Did you say 870?
.876.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's the Leafs, not just their goalies. The whole team.
Yeah, it's awful.
Do you want to know how sick and deranged I am?
Tell me.
The season where the tandem was... It's one of Toskala's seasons with the Leafs.
That's all you need to say. You don't need to tell us which season. Doesn't matter.
He had an 876.
Oh!
So which day?
January 9th.
So since January 9th, the Leafs have had Vesa Toskala in net, no matter who's been in net.
Boy, it's been the fact that they've been able to win as much as they have and maintain their positioning is amazing. Like, they're still within striking distance of Tampa, still within striking distance of the Florida Panthers. That is shocking.
Man, I found the reaction to the Canucks game odd. Because like people were acting like it needed to be one thing or the other. Like, the defense is bad. The goaltending is bad. And I'm like, guys, what if they're both bad?
They're both bad
They're
right now.
both really bad.
Yeah, I think, and maybe this is me being too optimistic, but I think if anything's going to figure itself out, it's the goaltending. Because goaltenders go through bad slumps.
Yeah.
The defense, though, I would say to me is I think Kyle Dubas nailed it last week when he was in front of cameras. He said, we're going to be looking for defensemen. We're going to be looking up that if we can. There's
things they can do to help out Jack Campbell and Peter Mrazek. Fewer deflections in front. They have a wild amount of deflections. So that's battling in front of the blue paint. That's battling in the slot. Fewer deflections. And also fewer clean looks less than 10 feet from the goalie. Like, it's amazing how many times they forget anyone's there or don't realize someone's there. And, I know they're trying out a lot of new pairings, and Sandin was on his offside, so maybe that was a little confusing. But for the rest of them, I'm like, I know you're playing with someone who you haven't played with regularly, but like, I don't know, right D has been right D your entire life.
Mm-hmm.
And left D has been like, there's someone, they're going to attack the net. Like, there have been moments very often in the last few weeks where you see the Leafs opponent go, just go to the net. Mm-hmm. And then they do. Mm-hmm. And, the Leafs outchance them. And the other team doesn't need as many chances as the Leafs because the Leafs' one fatal flaw is so easy to take advantage of.
Right.
That it very often gives them an easy win.
I thought it was really interesting that JT Miller was the first guy to score, considering he's been semi-linked to the Leafs.
Rat bastard.
Yeah. Boy, he'd be a great rat bastard in a Leaf jersey, though, wouldn't he?
He sure would.
The other thing was, I thought it was great. Some of the positives to take from the Canucks games. And listen,
there were lots.
There were lots.
That was a fun game.
The Tavares goal.
Great.
Yeah.
We feel good about
JT.
that.
Who would have thought that the established, amazing scorer who sometimes goes through slumps would get out of the slump?
Yeah, I think Islanders fans have been like, hey, you guys, this is what happens.
Yeah, like that's slightly ridiculous that Islanders fans had to tell Leaf fans to calm down.
That is really good. It's a good point.
Like, calm down, they said, wielding a burning axe. You guys are out of your mind.
I think per capita, Islanders fans have to be the most passionate. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Per capita.
Yes.
Like, Leaf fans are just like, we're a big flippin' group, which is why we're so annoying, because we're everywhere. Like a bad rash. But Islanders fans, you step on their toe, man, they'll start swinging. It's crazy.
You want some JT numbers?
Hit me.
So this is from a Twitter user at KF_Kadri43.
That is a big name.
With
a lot of names.
The New York Islanders, 669 games played. That's a nice number.
Yeah.
621 points. That is 0.92 points per game.
Mm-hmm.
With the Leafs, 254 games played. 0.97 points per game. So he's gone up.
Mm-hmm.
This season, 53 games, 50 points. 0.94 points per game. Nothing has changed with his points production. He just had a little slump in the middle where he regressed to his mean, I guess.
He's literally fine.
We're like, he's just perfectly fine.
And they
he's playing exactly where he should be playing.
And they put Nick Robertson on a line that scores, and he scored. I like that part.
That was okay. So let's talk about Nick Robertson's play a little bit, because obviously they're trying to see what this guy can do, right?
Of course.
And what do you think he can do?
Score. He can score.
Is he driving play, though, or is he a finisher? Because it can be both.
Right now, he's a finisher.
Okay.
He's a finisher.
And maybe they need that.
Yeah, I don't think he can be expected to drive play at this point in his career. I'm also not terribly convinced that's what he does. But, like, I mean, look at one of the most fascinating players in the NHL is Patrick Laine. If you look at almost every number he has to offer, he's trash. No one has a more lethal shot. Like, it's top 5 in the entire league. He's got the kiss of death.
Could be top 5 ever, that shot.
Like,
it's crazy.
Dude, he's so dumb good. And yes, he's streaky. He cannot defend. And if you look, he doesn't drive play at all.
Mm-hmm.
But, man, the dude finishes.
Yeah.
And I'm not calling Nick Robertson Patrick Laine here.
No.
But
I don't think anybody in their right mind would think that. Don't worry.
No, but on a line with Tavares and Nylander, he doesn't have to drive play. Just finish, baby.
I wondered, and this is I don't actually know the answer to this. In terms of players that are just like pure finishers, not sure that they drive play. Is Alex DeBrincat a play driver, or is he being passed to by like you saw the goal last night with him and Patrick Kane, right? Like, I know he can score.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, DeBrincat can score, and he would score without Kane. I think when you play on a line with Patrick Kane, just like if you play on a line with Connor McDavid or Mitch Marner or whatever, great passers, you're going to score more. Is Alex DeBrincat the kind of guy that's going to drive play for you?
I'm going to throw it out and say, who cares?
Exactly. Right? So if you have Robertson with Tavares and Nylander,
Okay.
There was no situation
he doesn't need to drive.
No, there was no situation where playing him 5.5 minutes a night on the fourth line made any sense.
So were they just doing it to kind of warm him back up, get him acclimatized?
It could have been that. I don't know. And like when Kasha gets back in the lineup, are they just going to boot him again? Like if he's going to be on this team, it needs to be with a purpose.
Yes, I think they would agree with that too. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the forward group is so deep. This isn't the point where I think like they need to be tinkering with the forward group. I think when Cash comes back, that's probably Cash's spot. Unless Nick Robertson plays like so above his capabilities. But right now we have Kerfoot on the fourth line.
Yeah, so that's weird.
That's a waste. That's a waste the same way Nick Robertson on the fourth line.
Although I do like
you're not wrong.
There's 14 forwards and there aren't enough spots for that.
I do like Kerfoot and Spezza though.
Yeah, but
going head to head with someone else's fourth line.
I think in the playoffs that looks really cool. Well, here's the thing. In the playoffs, someone like Kerfoot or even Mikheyev going on the fourth line is hilarious.
Yeah.
and you're going to want something like that. So if Robertson works there, all of a sudden you could theoretically have a third line of Mikheyev, Kampf, Kasha, what a pain in the ass, or Kerfoot, Kampf, Kasha, what a pain in the ass, and a scoring threat. It's awesome. It's awesome. But it all gets ruined by the fatal flaw.
Yeah, if the forward group it's so good, it doesn't matter if the defense sucks.
Yeah,
and Campbell can't play goalie.
I hate to break it to you, you're not going to play Detroit in the first round. Like, I hate to break it to you.
You can't outscore your problems versus Tampa.
No, it's kind of difficult. Those two saves Vasilevsky made last night were so
insane,
dumb. So dumb.
Yeah,
how is he? Like, what material is he made of?
And, I know people give Vasilevsky shit for those big pads that he wears. And rightly so. Like, you remember him? What was the picture of him, like, face-to-face with Price?
With Carey Price.
Yeah, and he's huge. Now, he's a big man on top of that. But also, if you see the way he stretched across the crease on that save, it's like there's no pad that's going to help you with that. I mean, yeah, he's got a big glove because he's probably got a big hand because he's a big man.
Prime Jonathan Quick, except calm and big. Like, just ridiculous. And so his thing with the pads is supposedly he doesn't like strap them down all the way. So they're huge. He looks like a rooster.
Is that what he does? Just has them loose?
Yeah.
Now that could backfire because if that pad moves too much and that puck hits you in the ribs.
He's figured it out.
He's doing.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Listen, just looking out for him.
No,
being
Adam,
his dad.
What else should Andre Vasilevsky do?
Let me tell you how to goaltend the goal. You're a goaltender.
How should he improve?
I'm going to pull up the picture here with Vassy and Price. If anybody's watching on YouTube, this is the infamous photo where
It's very funny.
Vasilevsky
Yeah.
is literally twice Price's size.
It's not that. I mean, he's taller.
It's also forced perspective. He's closer to the camera.
He's also. It's coming.
Sure.
It's also. They're not. It's not a complete 50. Also, I did love the memes that were made afterwards where they shrunk Carey Price and blew him up. Like,
Yeah.
those were funny.
Yes.
And everybody's like, "Dude, $100 million. They won because they had the $100 million." I'm like, well, Montreal's spending that this year, and look where they're at.
No, they won because of about, I don't know.
This one's even worse. You're talking about forced perspective.
Yeah. That's
This is an even worse angle. Like, it's bad.
He's also got his body turned more. No, I agree that it's bad, but everyone was acting like none of you have seen Lord of the Rings. None of you have seen
What do you
how
mean?
that was filmed.
What do you mean? What
They
are you
would
talking
put something
about?
very close to the camera and have something else that was very far away from the camera, and you'd look at the thing that was close to the camera and go, "Oh my god, it's huge." That's how it works.
Earlier in my career, I got to interview Usher, and I always thought Usher was a giant because
He looks tall.
Yeah, he looks tall. He's slender. He's in great shape. Always had
6'1".
those abs or whatever.
Mhm.
I think the guy's maybe 5'8", 5'9".
Really?
He's shorter than I am.
Really?
Yeah.
I never would have guessed that.
And when I met him, I shook his hand. I was like, because they shoot him up.
Yeah.
In every music video, it's shot up.
Your favorite artist of all time is also a liar.
Bruno Mars?
Bruno Mars. All of Bruno Mars's dancers have to be shorter than Bruno Mars because Bruno
Oh
Mars
my
in real
God.
life is like 5'3".
No, they have him. So what they do with
But at a
Bruno.
concert, wouldn't you be like, those are all short?
Yeah, no, but
They're all very
you
short.
lose perspective when everybody around him is shorter.
But they're
than
also
him.
further back.
Yeah.
Right? So that's also how you can make for that. So when you see them, they're usually dancing in like a triangle.
Yeah.
Because the band and everybody's behind him. So it looks
They have to make this really tiny man look huge.
Seacrest is also not that big. He has for all the American Idol shots, they put him on an apple box.
Aren't they, like, isn't almost every prominent on-camera person short?
I mean,
Like
not
in Hollywood?
not Alvin Williams on Raptors basketball.
No, NBA coverage doesn't count.
Yeah,
Alvin, I was watching the game last night.
With
and
Vince?
Yeah.
Vince and Alvin back together?
It's a joke when Alvin Williams stands next to any regular announcer.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know?
I love seeing him, like,
He's like,
at games.
Thanks, Rod.
Yeah.
And he's just looking down at him. It's crazy.
Oh, one of my favorite things to look at when I go to a Raptors game is the ref. So funny.
Or just Kate Burness interviewing any Raptor after
Yeah.
the game, and she's all the way down there.
Yeah, it's awesome. Awesome.
Shout out Pyle Doshi, who I interned at the Fan with. She took that infamous photo of her hand next to, I can't remember, it's either Chris Bosh or DeMar DeRozan's. And you gotta, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
So just to kind of sum up the Leafs situation at the moment, obviously, like my belief personally is that the goaltenders are get it back on track, kind of like Tavares, right? And I think Matthews. This has been so great because you're actually seeing Matthews really take a more prominent leadership role in the media too. Mm-hmm. He's like, you know what, you're just there and you support them, just kind of like we did with John, and they'll get through this. And I thought, oh, that's an astute answer.
They're not going to win every game.
So you're not. Wow.
Sorry.
What did you say?
Repeat that?
Bit infringement? Did I steal your bit
You
there,
can't
Jesse?
steal my line.
One more time.
You're not going to win every game.
So you're not freaking out. Nobody's freaking out.
No, I'm not freaking out about that game, but I am getting a little tired of when I do see them lose or when I do see the puck go in, it's the same reason every time. Maybe that's a good sign. There's only one way to beat them.
And there's a way to fix it. It's just one thing.
Sure is.
It's better to have one problem than 10.
Yeah. Like, Lyubushkin is not going to generate offense. So maybe if they were going to pay a premium for somebody, it'd be someone who gives them what they need without taking away from what they do well. Now, if that was available in abundance, I'm sure they would have pulled the trigger already, but I don't know. There's a solution here, a possible solution.
Yeah, and my issue with the goaltending is that there's no answer besides Campbell and Mrazek. Like, you can't.
Yeah.
There's no goaltender out there that you'd go out and get and be like, this is the solution to the goaltending, because you can't go get a starting goaltender who's going to be better than what we think Jack Campbell can be.
And Fleury doesn't want to go anywhere.
No, Fleury's probably the only answer, and that's not an option.
I'm sorry, Chicago Blackhawks fans. I'm sorry. Objectively funny.
What?
So funny. They go out and they make this move and you look at it and you go, all right, well, it's two outcomes here.
Mm-hmm.
One, he's good. The Blackhawks are bad, and they get a king's ransom for him, and they got him for free.
Mm-hmm.
Or he makes them good, which is what I thought management thought. And you get nothing, you lose. Good day, sir.
They suck, and he's good, but they get nothing.
Yep.
Mm.
Yeah. So
Interesting.
all he's doing is like actively screwing up their pick. Watch them win the lottery.
Yeah. There's nothing Dubas can really do about Campbell. He's just got to play it out for the rest of the year and see where it goes. There's no goalie to get.
I mean, no team is going to have everything. So
Except Tampa.
Except Tampa.
Tampa's going to have everything.
They're going to have everything. It's very frustrating. But most teams do not have like top 5 scoring and also a goalie with a .940 save percentage. Igor, pipe down. Just Rangers Twitter, pipe down.
Yeah,
that's enough. That's enough.
They are attacking me with Shesterkin stuff. Every time he breathes, I get a Rangers fan going, see, better than Matthews.
He is
yeah, but there's a situation
ridiculously
where
good.
he's propping up their team. Like the Rangers haven't been the best team on the offensive side.
So what?
Exactly. They're ahead of where they should be because they have an all-time great season from a goalie. You know?
So what honestly, that's
It's so fun when your goalie is your best player.
Mm-hmm.
Like
It's the best.
You can see why I loved goalies growing up because they're what they do. Holy shit! My mouth just divorced itself from my brain.
Mm-hmm. I know something about that.
Yeah. What you do?
Divorce.
Yeah. No, they get to do a lot of cool stuff. I like goalies.
I want to.
Sometimes you just gotta abandon shit.
Hey, what's the
Balls? I beat you to it. Can't sneak it in.
What's the number one place to go for male grooming?
Manscaped.
Manscaped. That's right. And what do you do when you go to manscaped.com?
Get free shipping. I beat you to it.
And
Shave your
20% off, and you got to use the promo code Dangle.
That's what it is. Sorry, I'm not.
Jesse, you can tell he's new at this, eh?
You can tell I'm
Yeah,
trying.
You're just yelling.
I'm making
You're
an
not
effort.
really.
I know. Hey, listen.
I'm contributing.
Listen.
Yeah, but by yelling,
The number one product.
save my ears.
The number one product in the package is the Lawnmower 4.0. It's the electric trimmer. It's designed to trim hair on loose skin, and that's kind of important, as you know, right? You got to look at that. And get this, the trimmer's advanced safe technology reduces cuts and nicks on your delicate balls. Also has a 4,000K LED light, so you can spotlight your balls anywhere you want to go.
Yeah, the 400,000 is where you can see through them.
Translucent testes. That's what we're here for. Hey, the complete package is available for you right now at manscaped.com. Our exclusive offer is 20% off and free shipping with the code DANGLE. Again, it's 20% off, free shipping with the promo code DANGLE. Your balls will thank you. You ready for an astounding stat? There are 46% more jobs being posted than before the pandemic and 44% fewer candidates applying to each one.
Man.
It's intense. So you need to find the right candidates. Well, you need to find the right candidates, and you need to hire them fast. I'm not giving you a chart.
Why?
Why not?
You have to you're just going to have to accept the
The
stat.
only way I consume information.
Workable can help you. Workable accelerates every step of the hiring process from the find to the hire. Workable helps you cast the widest net possible for posting jobs to all the top job boards. There's over 200 in total, just one click. It helps you evaluate and hire quickly with modern tools like video interviews and e-signatures. And Workable will help you automate repetitive tasks like scheduling interviews so you could spend more time on what's important. What's important to you, Steve?
Lactose-free ice cream.
There you go. You can spend more time on that now with Workable. Whether you're hiring your
little rum and raisin. Old man.
People act like there's bad flavors of ice cream. There aren't. Workable. We believe there are no bad flavors of ice cream.
Whether you're hiring for your coffee shop or your engineering team, Workable is exactly what you need to hire the right people fast. If you start hiring today, there is a risk-free 15-day trial. If you hire during that trial, which many do, it won't cost you a thing. Go to workable.com to start hiring. Workable is hiring made easy.
Well, Steve has something to say.
I wasn't going to say anything.
I want to shout this out because this just broke this morning. The Toronto Six have been sold.
Saturday.
Oh, it was Saturday.
Yeah.
Sorry. to a group led by Anthony Stewart, Ted Nolan, and Angela James. They'll be the first BIPOC and Canadian investors in PHF history. So I wanted to say congratulations to them. That's former NHLer Anthony Stewart, Hall of Famer Angela James, Bernice Carnegie, and former NHL coach Ted Nolan. So that's pretty cool. Good for them. Great to see. Great to see what's going on there. And obviously, as women's hockey continues to grow, it's such a difference from 5-6 years ago when this show was 3-4 years old, and it was sort of like, oh, we don't talk about women's hockey because no one cares. And now you're seeing Hall of Famers and NHLers and everybody's buying in, and there's the growth with that is amazing. My understanding too is the Capitals PWHPA event was spectacular this weekend.
Ooh.
So it's just nice to see it on the rise, right? I just wanted to say a little shout out to them. Congrats to all the owners there, and congrats to the P on their huge weekend in Washington as well.
It's definitely clear progress and clear momentum.
You're seeing it.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's funny. We were sort of seeing it before the pandemic, but then the pandemic hit.
Right.
And I think we questioned it on one of the shows, and I forget if there was even a guest on. But the question was okay, so the NHL has just lost a ton of revenue, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as we learned with on Agent Provocateur, lost revenue doesn't mean they didn't make money.
Right.
It just means they made less money than the year before, less profits than the year before. And my question was, with the NHL doing that and the owners being cheap as they are, would there be push from the league to make a women's league happen? Would they use the pandemic as an excuse not to do it? We still don't know the answer to that question.
Right.
But I feel like we're going to know soon. Does that make sense?
Yes, it definitely seems to be building to a crescendo, and momentum's an important thing, I think, here, because I think momentum can be better than progress. You can be standing still, take one step, and stop, and you've made progress, but you're standing still. Momentum, it's just every day there seems to be new news, new positive news, and it's heading in that direction. It's good.
It's awesome to hear.
And March 12th, or better known as Steve's birthday,
Yeah.
Team USA plays Team Canada in the rivalry rematch game in Pittsburgh. I believe it's going to be on Sportsnet.
Yes, it is.
So watch it there.
If Canada loses, they got to give the medals back.
Yeah, that's the stipulation.
Is that the stipulation?
They've all agreed that this is the official gold medal match, and whoever wins gets the actual gold medal.
Wow.
And all the gold medals during the game are going to be hanging just above the ice, and whoever climbs the ladder at center ice and grabs them first wins the ladder match.
I thought
And it's also in a steel cage. They've retrofitted the rink to have a steel cage.
A steel cage ladder match?
Oh.
For the Money in the Bank briefcase this Sunday.
Oh my goodness, to find out who is the new Intercontinental Champion. Love Fink.
Oh man, I was gonna go with a Mario joke there. So if you wanted to claim your gold, you have to jump and hit it with your head, but
No.
it didn't work as well. Yours was way better.
We need Edge. We need Edge back on the show.
We do.
Yeah, what's up with him? What's he doing lately?
Mr. Adam Copeland.
Just fighting people. He's beating the shit out of AJ Styles at WrestleMania, brother. That's what he's doing.
WrestleMania is what?
Soon.
6 weeks away? Early April?
I don't know.
We should do.
I need someone to point at the sign.
We should do a WrestleMania live stream where we watch
Edge.
Where we watch WrestleMania
With Edge, where he wears a camera
in
the ring.
And he has to talk to us.
While he's
No copyright infringement. It's totally fine.
Yeah, let's do
It's
that.
fine.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
We'll
You know
ask
what?
him. Send him a text.
Why don't you just call Vince McMahon and just say, Vince, it's fine. You don't need to make money off this one thing. You don't make money off everything you do,
It's
Vince.
fine.
It's fine.
Yeah,
Vince was on Pat McAfee last week.
Was
and
he?
That dude, Vince McMahon, hasn't aged. He looks like 10 years ago when he's in the ring strutting. Though on
He's aged a bit.
on
Listen.
camera at least.
Listen.
I think he still pulls it off. Vince has still got it.
I think you got to give it to Vince, no matter how he got there. The process doesn't matter.
No.
The goal was achieved.
Vince did it.
He did it.
There are several stories that encapsulate how truly ridiculous of a man he is.
Mm-hmm.
Adam, do you know about his quad injuries? Vince McMahon?
So tell that story because it's a fascinating story. Yes, I do, but do it anyway.
Okay, so everyone who knows wrestling knows this story like the back of their hand. They're sick of hearing it. Everyone who doesn't, buckle up. So, this is gonna blow your mind, but sometimes they know the outcome of a match before the end of it.
No.
Sometimes.
I don't believe it.
So it's the final two in the Royal Rumble. Edge always likes to bring this up. He was the third last person in the Royal Rumble.
See, he looks good.
He looks so good. Why are you hating?
I'm not. It's an energy thing. Listen, shut up. Let me tell him the story. So Edge has just been eliminated. So now the final two are John Cena and Batista. They are wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
They both go over the top rope and their feet touch the mat outside at the exact same time. So to get eliminated from the Royal Rumble, both your feet have to touch the mat at the exact same time. So is it a tie? And here's the thing. You could not script that.
Mm-hmm.
It just happened too perfectly. So while Edge, who I love his perspective of the story, I heard it on TikTok or something, he's walking up the ramp. As he's walking up the ramp, upset that he got eliminated, Vince McMahon comes walking down, strutting violently down the ramp. And then he runs and gets in the ring, and he goes to stand up to shout and immediately sits down on his bum.
Mm-hmm.
And that is because he rage walked so hard that when he got into the ring, he tore both his quads.
And isn't he like sitting on the ground and he continues with the bit?
Continues to because they got to figure out
he's hurt.
the fit. Well, they also have to figure out the ending of the match. Jesse's showing us right now. We can't show you this
No.
because we'll get sued. But Vince, God damn it, there he is, and he's shredding down to the ring. There's Edge telling the story. God damn it, I'm Vince McMahon. I'm Vincent Kennedy McMahon, and he's stomping down. He's stomping down there, and he tore both his quads, and then continued to scream instructions from his bum. And they had to, no one acknowledged.
Oh, God.
Look at this. Get up. And then his legs say, no, you don't. And he doesn't break. He doesn't break at all.
That must hurt like hell.
He tore both his quads.
Yeah.
You need those. And so John Cena, bless him, is like, I won the match. Even though his boss is sitting on his ass. And Batista's like, no, I won the match.
Oh.
And I think they don't show how what I want to see is how they removed Vince from the ring.
Yeah,
tore both his
they
quads.
must have done that. So by the way, can I just say this? I know that we can't show this on the actual podcast, but somebody needs to take a lift of Steve talking like Vince McMahon walk into the ring, and then have Vince McMahon walk.
Vince McMahon.
Oh, it's very funny.
And then the next night on Raw, he started a feud with his own quads, and he challenged them to hell in a cell against his own quads. It's just him wailing on his own legs. He won. Adam, if you think that's ridiculous, he had an actual wrestling match against God. He did. That happened.
Now, there's a couple things I want to bring up. Jesse, there's something in your inbox that I sent you earlier, but there's also something new in your inbox. But I want the one that I sent earlier. The new thing, I need you to text me back and tell me if it's worth covering or not. Steve, you're not allowed to look at it.
Oh, good thing I can't read.
Yeah. I know
so
you can't
blind,
see
man.
from here. I know you can't see from here, but I sent it to Jesse mid-show because I'm not sure if it's something we should cover, but it's pretty wild.
Okay. Did this just happen?
Well, first off, I want to read you a Jim Matheson tweet.
Oh.
Apparently, now this...
Let's go.
Yeah, this is throwing it back, guys. Jim Matheson, Edmonton Oilers reporter, has been, if you ask his bio, covered the NHL for 40 years. Lucky to watch lots of Hall of Fame Oilers. He's never watched a Hall of Fame player from a single other team. Only the Oilers.
Yeah, when the Penguins would take the ice, he'd go, ah! He would close his eyes.
Early 90s, late 2000s, or late
really,
2010s.
The regulars who covered the Oilers, it took a while to get used to.
Yeah.
Once you,
So this has to do with you if you're a Jets fan, and I wanted to get your opinion on it.
Okay.
one of the reasons for the Jets' struggles. Goaler Connor Hellebuck. He's one of the NHL's top half dozen goalies.
I'm sorry. He called him goaler?
Goalie, excuse me. That's my bad.
Oh.
No, that's me. That's me. Goalie Connor Hellebuck. He's one of the NHL's top half dozen goalies and is usually rock solid, but has a pedestrian .911 save percentage. Got a losing record.
Who is this? Does he actually have
Connor
a losing
Hellebuck.
record?
Well, he's got a losing record because I don't think the team's very good, and their coach left midway through the season, blah, blah, blah. Now, Connor Hellebuck putting up a 911 save percentage is, I think, still pretty respectable when you consider this graph from JFresh.
Hey, want to trade?
And now Connor Hellebuck's been on a bit of a skid lately, but so is the team. They haven't been good. Like, if you saw Ehlers' press conference last night, he was like, this doesn't feel good. We're not enjoying this. Obviously, who does? It seemed like they could push for like the 8th playoff spot this year, but it doesn't seem like it's going to happen. Have a look at this.
They're in there.
Have a look at this graph. Jesse, have you put it up?
Yes.
So, Steve,
can I look?
I'm gonna let you look here. I'm gonna pull it up.
It's right here.
To me, if you want to look at why the Jets have not been great this season, you need only look at their 3 best players. This is from Top Down Hockey's data. It's JFresh Hockey that put this graph out. In terms of lowest projected forward WAR,
wins above replacement.
Yep. Mark Scheifele is the worst in the league. Kyle Connor is the 4th worst, and Blake Wheeler is the 5th worst.
And Patrick Laine, who was a Jet, is 6th worst.
Right. Other names on that list: Brady Tkachuk, Patrick Kane, Patrick Laine, Jake Gensel, Leon Draisaitl, surprising, Alex Ovechkin, and Jonathan Drouin.
And this is based on 3-season weighted average.
Yeah, so this isn't just this season.
Oh.
This is the last 3.
Kyle Connor, obviously it's not like I watch every Jets game. He's the only name that surprises me. Scheifele, I know, is shocking defensively. Wheeler, I know, is shocking defensively. They're terrible. They're
great on offense.
Yeah, I don't want either player to have the puck crossing that offensive blue line.
Against your team, yeah.
There was a Wheeler won a game in the shootout against the Leafs, but there was another game where he was basically single-handedly responsible for the Jets losing the game in overtime. My favorite game is count how many strides Scheifele or Wheeler make when they cross the defensive side of the red line. They don't skate.
Do they just kind of let it go?
They just float. They're like a paper bag in the wind.
See, what's tough
Plastic
about
bag
that
in the
is
wind.
they're considered the 2 guys in that room that are the leaders.
Yeah.
And we, listen, I'm gonna mix a little stats with intangibles here, so I'm bringing both sides together.
Mm-hmm.
If imagine you're a younger player on that team, you're not a part of the leadership group, and you see Blake Wheeler or Mark Scheifele goofing it in the defensive zone, how likely are you to play a ton of defense? Yeah, man. They're the leaders. If they're the ones that always talk about, we have a championship attitude. We go to the gym. We do. They always talk about that. They publicly mention that.
Yeah, I'm willing to admit bias. What's better than beating the Leafs? No, I don't. I'm not a huge fan, but this has been a few years, man. A few years of
3 years.
They don't do the right things. Yeah, 3 apparently. They don't do the right things, and they really make Connor Hellebuck's job difficult. They make, Brendan Dillon, who's a new acquisition, Nate Schmidt, who's a new acquisition. I looked at the moves they made in the offseason, and I thought, oh, man, the Jets are making moves. A bunch of people called them the best team in Canada, on paper heading into the season. And who knows, maybe for the playoffs, I still think you bump the Jets up a little bit when it comes to playoff hockey, just because
Connor Hellebuck usually plays. He's amazing.
He's unreal, but also you can just get away with more. And that's not me calling them dirty, but they're a high infraction team, and those get called in the regular season, and then when it comes to the playoffs, you sweep the Oilers because
nothing makes sense.
Yeah, even though they outshot you every game, it's just you're allowed to do whatever you want to star players. It's not a shot at the Jets. It's a shot at the way things are called. But yeah, it's I've heard a lot of not great things about this Jets group, and I'm uncomfortable sharing it.
The people are tweeting it. There are journalists tweeting it.
Yeah, like there's Elliot Friedman, I thought, made a very interesting point on 32 Thoughts, where the Jets have been through a lot. They've been through a lot, haven't we all?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
They've been through a lot, and I think they're like a lot of teams where things haven't gone great the last year or two, and they're wondering, should we blow it up? And then they look at everything that they've faced, and they're like, maybe all we need is time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe what we do is we go into this off season and we just chill a little bit. We take a timeout and see how things go. I think the blow up with the Jets is coming.
You do? Like, as in, like, they move on from the core?
Yeah. I don't
really
think it's going to happen this trade deadline. I'd be very surprised.
Okay.
It could come this offseason, but I think I'd put that 50-50 at best. But if they begin the first 2 months next season and they're not consistently in a playoff spot for those 2 months, I think you're looking at some sort of pre or post Christmas blow up.
Wow.
Yeah.
For me, I just don't know who those pieces are.
Scheifele, Wheeler.
Well, Wheeler can't go anywhere. He's 35, makes $8.25 million.
So Scheifele then.
Mm-hmm.
So you're talking about one guy. Kyle Connor's not going anywhere. I think it's
That'd be
in the
dumb.
last 3 years, the goal scoring lead is it 3 or 4 years? The goal scoring leaders are Austin Matthews, Kyle Connor, and then Alexander Ovechkin.
Kyle Connor is
He scores
Unreal.
goals.
unbelievable
Yeah.
player. Yeah, he's so underrated.
So we're talking about Scheifele or Ehlers.
Ehlers
If
would
you want a
be
big move.
so stupid, and he's the player that I
There you
see
go.
Jets fans yell about the most. Like, please play him more,
Mhm.
for the love of God. Like, what does he have to do? Well, and those numbers that we saw with Scheifele, Wheeler, and Connor make Ehlers not being on the first line every day for the last 2 or 3 years inexcusable.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, you look at a tenacious player who can score. If they're not promoted to the top line, it's because they don't play well away from the puck.
Mm-hmm.
The guys in the top line objectively play terrible away from the puck. So why are you punishing this guy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ehlers is. I think he could save the Jets if they let him. But yeah, that's
one
up
thing.
to them.
That's one thing I don't like about these charts, where they take the individual. They're taking a very specific category of a player's game, like their individual defensive stats. That's what. But hockey's a team game. You know, how does that relate to their offensive? Is their offensive talent so good that they're outplaying their defensive metrics? Plus, do they have wingers or other players on their team that counteract their poor defense? Because not every player is going to be good at everything. And I think that you get a lot of this narrative where, oh, this player is bad defensively. Well, okay, they're really good offensively, and not every player can be great offensively and great defensively. And that's why you build a whole team with all of these skaters that counteract different guys' abilities and liabilities.
But when you're losing on like wins above replacement, right? When we're talking about like that part of it is like
You're losing more games than you win.
we talked about Ovechkin, and we talked about like remember when I said that I think Matthews right now is better than McDavid. And that's the one TikTok that we've ever had that took off, and a lot of look at this fucking idiot. And when you look at the full charts, like you look at the Dom Lucian charts, right? They're not that different, right? The two of them.
I like the big expanded ones they've made. I don't think the charts are the problem. I think Twitter is a poor vessel.
Yeah, well, there's no
Because-
nuance. But my point in saying that is, you know, when we rewind back to like 2015, when Jeremy Roenick in the playoffs is like, you know, Ovechkin needs to become a student of the game. Well, no, he fucking doesn't. I'm not expecting Alexander Ovechkin to come back and play the kind of defense that you're hoping for.
Mm-hmm.
But when I look at we're talking specifically about the Jets, and we're talking about the 3 best players on the Jets, and you know, Ehlers isn't in there. I guess maybe he should be. And the captain. Don't you want the captain and the second best player in Scheifele to make it not about Connor Hellebuck having a mediocre season?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? That's my point here. And I get what you're saying with the
my
charts.
point wasn't about the Jets specifically. My point is about there's 18 skaters, and looking at individual aspects of players doesn't account for the other 17 players on the team.
Well, I think you're right.
In this case of the Jets, I think the Jets have a problem.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
Well, yeah, because if you have too many on that side of it, like look at
It doesn't surprise me someone covering the Oilers is blaming the Stars.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Well, Jim Matheson
Uh-huh.
took a look at the Jets and went, "It's Hellebuck is the problem."
Yeah,
Right.
no, I mean, Hellebuck clearly is not the problem. Has never really been the problem.
We didn't make enough of the first part of this conversation where the dressing room might be toxic.
Might be,
maybe, but we've heard enough stories that
Well,
it's not the best place.
Here's the thing. Where there's smoke, there's fire sometimes.
Mhm.
And sometimes you could be in a shitty situation. Like, I'll be honest with you, working on a show, except this show is actually really good. Like, we never really have those things. But, like, you work on an early morning show, right? When Jesse and I were working mornings and stuff like that, there would be times where myself and Jax would get into a heated debate, or TJ and Jax, or it was mostly TJ and Jax, mostly, if I'm being honest with you, because
Yeah.
they're like brother and sister. They'd have their moments. And then towards vacation time, one of the members of the show is going, okay, I'm ready to have a break from everybody because I see these people for 20 hours at 5 a.m. every single week, right? It's hard. So maybe that's what the thing with the Jets is. Maybe it's just like, we need a summer off. It's been 2 shitty years of COVID. We lost Bufflin. We lost Myers. Maybe they're happy about that. We lost Trouba. Like, a lot of what the core of on defensively, what made this team the Western Conference team that it almost went to the Stanley Cup Finals. Maybe it's just sort of like, I just need a break and I need to get out of Winnipeg and go somewhere else. I've been tired of the same faces, and then I need to come back to Winnipeg and be like, holy shit, I'm so happy to be back.
Also, like, this isn't to say Scheifele and Wheeler and Connor are bad players. They're obviously not.
No. Or bad people. Or if they're bad people. I
But-
don't know. What the hell do I know?
Like for example, like the conversation we just had about Patrick Laine and how he's a truly ridiculous player who hurts his team in a lot of respects, but holy shit, can he finish? You got to put him with the right people.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have a line of 3 Patrick Laines.
Okay. Yeah.
You can have him on your team.
Yep.
You can't have too many of them on your team. You know what I mean? It's good to cap yourself at 1 Patrick Laine.
That's fair enough. That it gets a little weighted in one direction when you have 3 guys in there.
Columbus is doing it right. They only have 1 guy named Patrick Laine. They're doing it right.
I'm trying to. I don't know what today's theme seems to be with goaltending, but I'm trying to figure out how the Montreal Canadiens beat the Oilers that badly. Like, I know Montreal's been good. It was like 5-2. And I know Montreal's been really good. I
The
get
same
it.
to the Leafs.
But, like, are you kidding me? Edmonton?
It's
Like, do they want to make the playoffs, right?
Yeah, it's 2 teams having very different times. It's not even about the game to me. It's the Oilers are having a bad time. I think they had a very brief break from their bad time, right? Woodcroft came in, they started to do well, everyone was super happy, and that shine has already faded, and they're not getting any goaltending. In Montreal, a team that truly deeply at their core identifies as the fuck you, will do it anyway team, like the win against all odds team, went and got themselves a win against all odds coach and a win against all odds attitude, and they play like it. They play with a, they used to play and everyone knew they were going to lose, including them.
Like, they were defeated before the puck dropped.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now they play and everyone thinks they're going to lose except them. And that was that not them all playoff long?
Yeah. Yep. That was their playoff attitude. I'm going to, like, let's take the advanced stats out of it. Let's just go box score on this.
Sure.
In every major category, shots on goal, hits, faceoffs, penalty minutes, power plays, giveaways, and takeaways, Edmonton and Montreal are almost even throughout this game. They came within 1 shot of each other. I think the biggest difference I can see is Montreal scored 2 on the power play and Edmonton didn't. So my question to you is, Edmonton was in a better position last year at this time, like in this time in the season, not in actual, on March the 7th.
That's hilarious. Sorry, Jesse showed me one of the goals.
Edmonton is in a better position going into the trade deadline last year than they were this year, and they didn't spend because you can't do it every trade deadline. This year, you must solve this problem.
I think
You cannot. This team is spectacular. It needs a goalie.
it needs. I think, dude, they have Stuart Skinner and Mikko Koskinen, who look like they would be a fine tandem based on the numbers. Mike Smith has been terrible.
And they're starting him.
Stop it. Like, this is, it's funny. You look at the Leafs and the Oilers, who seem to always get compared, and both teams seem to be taking the same attitude about their starting goaltender. Don't worry, he'll figure it out.
Yep. But with Oilers, it's like, don't worry, he's old.
Well, okay.
Like, and no offense to Mike Smith, who was a spectacular goaltender, part of the Olympic team, dragged the Arizona Coyotes to the conference final in like 2012 or 2013.
It was 10 years ago. It was 2012. Yeah.
10 years ago. 10 years ago. And look at, I just want to show you this, okay? So again, basic stat, not an advanced stat. Nashville is now 2 points ahead of Edmonton for the last wild card spot in the NHL for the Western Conference. They have a game in hand as well. They've played 55. Edmonton's played 56. You know what the big difference between Nashville and Edmonton is?
UC Soros.
The goals for 174 for Nashville, 184 for Edmonton. The goals against 155 goals against for Nashville, 180 for Edmonton. They have a 4 differential, a +4. That's it. That's rough.
Yeah, that's
It's not good, man.
That's yuck.
It is. It's yuck.
This is too much effort for a bit. I was trying to look back at the 2012 playoffs and go through all the best goalies and be like, here, do you want them as well? Listen, they were really good in the 2012 playoffs. You got to go get them.
That's bad. That's really, really bad. Be Pecorine. Because they went to the second round, didn't they? That was the year where
the 2012 playoffs, man. I don't know.
I remember what that year because that Nashville signed the Russian brothers, and then they had to the Kostitsins, and then had to suspend them in the playoffs or something.
Was that year?
I think it was that year.
That was Radulov and Andre and Sergei Kostitsin.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I was wondering, was Craig Anderson great? Maybe some things haven't changed.
Is that no Hamburg?
2012 playoffs, top goalies:
Hamburg,
Jonathan Quick, Henrik Lundqvist, Braden Holtby, Mike Smith, Pecorine.
So 3 of them are retired.
Well, those are your top goalies there.
One is Braden Holtby. Braden Holtby's the best of the bunch, on account of there's only 2 still playing, and he's the better one. I don't know. Dude, they have Stuart Skinner, they have Mikko Koskinen. I think they could be fine if they just committed to no longer committing to Mike Smith.
Yeah, I feel like
who they have signed next year.
They're at the point of the year where they're same with the Leafs, where they're trying stuff in their lineup and they're like, okay, we got to make sure the Mike Smith experiment doesn't work. We need to keep starting him. We got to make sure that doesn't.
They know,
but with
they know
Edmonton,
now.
They're not in a position where in the Leafs where they have a playoff spot locked in.
Yeah, the Leafs have that luxury.
Yeah. Edmonton, they're fighting for their playoff lives, and I don't think they expected the division to be this good, where they're competing with Nashville and Dallas and Vegas is in their division. It's really tough, and they might miss the playoffs if they keep trying this. And Koskinen's been okay. He hasn't been great, but he's been better than Mike Smith.
I think the Oilers can get by with okay.
Mm-hmm.
I know, but come on. My point is, if you have to get by with okay, with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl in their absolute effing primes, do you guys think that's okay? Do you think that's acceptable? Go out and get somebody.
Well,
make it happen.
I'm thinking about this, step outside of the context.
Yeah, okay.
Is this a team worth buying on? You know what I mean? Is this a team worth spending futures?
Yeah. I'm gonna change the question.
McDavid.
I have an issue with that question.
Okay.
Are Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl worth buying on?
Well, that's the
question.
Yeah, okay. Are Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl worth buying on? Yes. Are the Edmonton Oilers worth buying on? No.
They are.
So we have a problem.
They are, though.
Well, because they have Leon
Draisaitl
and Connor McDavid.
How are you taking them out of the team?
I'm taking them out of it because if you just look at the team, you would never buy on it.
Yeah.
No,
but because of the context of you have these stars and haven't done shit, you kind of have to.
Yeah, every year you have McDavid is a year you have to go for it. It's enough.
I agree. But they haven't. The team has not showed you that it's worth spending on.
Here's the meeting I'm looking forward to.
Okay.
Here's the meeting I'm really looking forward to. The meeting is the postseason get together, not postseason, not playoff. I'm talking post the actual season.
Right. It's July.
Yeah, and you're having the player GM meeting, and you're Ken Holland, and Connor and Leon separately walk into your office, and then you have to explain to them why, again, you did nothing at the trade deadline. That's going to be, I would love for that to be recorded. Somebody get Amazon in on that one.
If at the Oilers' end of season press conference, Ken Holland brings up Detroit, I will ice myself. I will take a Smirnoff Ice, hand behind the head, and I will drink the whole thing.
You know what?
Right there on the show.
Can we got to find some way to donate money to charity too.
Sure. Does Smirnoff have a charity?
Well, maybe we can find a Ukrainian version of it. But maybe that's where we put the money towards.
Sure.
The point I'm trying to make here is that what you guys are saying is the Oilers are a bad cake. They're bad, but there's one piece that's super delicious, and that's Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, right? I think you got to try to improve the cake.
That's what I was saying at all.
You got to try to make that cake better.
I don't
better
know.
icing. Let's
I can't
go.
bake, so I don't know.
Yeah, well, maybe you should bake more. By the way, if you want to look up something goofy, look up goals for and goals against in the NHL right now, just to give you some numbers, okay? The Oilers are at 184 and 180, right? Florida Panthers, 227 to 163. Toronto Maple Leafs, 202 to 163.
That's still pretty good.
Pretty damn good. The goofiest, to me, is the Colorado Avalanche, of course.
They're a problem.
222 to 159. That is an insane differential.
The Colorado Avalanche do not have a weakness, except for the Arizona Coyotes. For some reason, they cannot beat them.
Yeah.
I get that feel.
Yep.
The Leafs have an 0-1 record against them thus far.
Mm-hmm.
But, man, barring an injury, that team looks motivated on a whole new level. I don't think they'll be denied. Nathan McKinnon's playing with bloodlust, for his own.
Yeah,
it was. Oh my God.
And I'm looking at the standings now. You know what's disappointing most about this, guys?
What's that?
There's only one playoff race. I was told with a hard salary cap there would be parity.
Yeah,
and the entire Eastern Conference is decided right now. The closest team to Washington, which is number 2 in the wild card spot, can you guess who it is?
Alan Walsh.
Not Alan Walsh.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, what was the question?
The closest team to the Washington Capitals. Who could catch Washington?
Are they they're the second wildcard team?
And by the way, Jesse, do you know this answer?
I do.
Okay. So I'm going to ask just Steve.
I think it's Detroit. Although they've fallen off.
Your Detroit's the next team.
Is it Columbus?
It's Columbus. How many points separate Washington and Columbus?
15.
10.
Oh,
still almost insurmountable based on the NHL's stupid point system.
The likelihood.
Now, in the West, I'll give it to you. Edmonton, Anaheim, Vancouver, all within striking distance of Nashville. Nashville's got 66, Edmonton 64, Anaheim 63, Vancouver 62. I'll give it to you.
2 spots for 5 teams. I'm putting Dallas, Nashville, Edmonton, Anaheim, Vancouver. Those 5 teams, 2 of those make the playoffs. Because I'm locking in Vegas because they're not going to miss the playoffs. I think LA is going to hold fort and at least get into a wild card or maybe even one of the top Pacific spots. But I think those 5 teams got to make up the last 2 wild cards, which will be so much fun down the stretch.
That will be a fun race. I just wish it was on both sides. I was told there would be parity. I was told. I've been told so many times on Twitter that there's parity in the NHL. I don't know what to do with myself.
To continue the conversation, the Jets are 3 points up on the Sharks, who
aren't they? Yeah, the Sharks. Erik Karlsson didn't show up there to rebuild. So
yeah, but they're also actively pulling the chute.
They are
season.
Right. They are right. Are they gonna trade Hurdle? He's up. Get an insane return for him.
You could. Oh boy, I don't know what you do if you're the Sharks. Because it's interesting. Erik Karlsson is coming back this week, which is the opposite of.
Oh, he's going to come back?
According to Yahoo.
Oh, nice.
How will the Knights acquire him this time?
Wow. So we only have 2 IR spots in our fantasy. So Mike Stevens dropped him.
Did you claim him?
He dropped Karlsson.
You bet your ass
No,
I claimed him.
you did.
You bet your ass.
Mike dropped Karlsson?
I've had a tough season, and it's one of my proudest moments.
Speaking of which,
tread that water lightly. He's not the best fantasy player.
He's not?
No, because you gotta.
Neither am I.
To be a great fantasy player, you gotta put up the extracurricular stats. You gotta have blocks. You gotta have hits. You gotta have PIMs.
Right.
You gotta have, and especially if you're a defenseman, because you're not gonna put up the points unless you're a top defenseman. So you gotta do the extra stuff.
We do have blocks.
You have
We
hits?
do have hits.
Yeah. You have PIMs?
PIMs dock you.
Do you have plus minus?
No.
Oh, you don't have plus minus.
No.
Oh, okay. What categories do you have?
Let me see.
Okay, we don't need to go through your categories.
No,
but,
yeah, we do.
The plus minus, you guys should add plus minus for next year because it rewards teams who have players on good teams.
Okay, so
Think
goals,
about adding that.
goals, assists, penalty minutes, you get docked.
Yeah.
Power play points, shorthanded points, shots on goal, and hits. So no blocks actually.
You don't have GWGs. You don't have shorthanded. Do you say
I
shorthanded?
thought we had GWGs, so maybe it's just not displayed. And for goalies, wins are I think 5 points. Goals against, you get docked. Saves, you get points, and shutouts, you get an extra like 5 or 10 or something like that.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
you guys play different.
I didn't come up with it, man.
We have like 14 categories in our league.
That's too much.
No, it makes it better.
Too much.
You really get into the who can build a complete roster. Because then you need.
What is the stink that you're putting on? I don't.
I don't like how you play fantasy.
I don't like how
It's
you
not-
talk about my fantasy
Because
team.
you can, in those instances, you could just load up on offensive players, and that's not building a hockey team.
I beat Ian Tulloch this past week.
What about the charts? What about the charts that say you need defensive metrics as well? You don't have those. Those don't account for your fantasy.
Ian
team?
would be the guy to push for that. By the
Yeah.
way. He'd be like, "What about the?"
And that's why his team, Kasha Them Checks, is below Steve's book club.
Is it?
Steve's book club, killing it.
Yeah, Ian loves Andre Kosh. Has loved him forever.
Yeah, shout out to our top team, Brady. He's from Winnipeg. His team is called No Airport, No Problem.
Does the NHL does the NHL still do their like free bracket challenge? Can we do that again this year?
Sure.
That was fun. I missed those days.
I assume they do. Oh, man, holy shit. Did you see they came out with their logo today?
Oh, yeah.
The NHL has a logo.
For the playoffs.
So they haven't updated for context. The NHL hasn't updated their Stanley Cup logo in like a decade. They've been using the same. I think 2013. They've been using the same logo, and all they do is change the year on it.
Mhm.
But this year they decided we are going to update our Stanley Cup logo. What did you guys think of it?
I haven't seen it. Can you put it up on the screen?
All right. First time in 13 years, more than a decade, actually. This is the new Stanley Cup logo for the NHL. So if anybody wants to describe it, please.
So
go right ahead
instead
for
of the
audience.
cup with the thing in front of it, it's the cup on top on a banner, like something you would hang from the top of the arena with Stanley Cup playoffs underneath it.
It's a nice logo,
It's fine.
but if you told me I could only get oxygen into my lungs if I cared about this, I'd be dead within 2 minutes.
It's a very non-story, but they made a big deal about changing their logo.
They got to have something. It's
You
been
know?
a rough year for them PR-wise, so
Ugh.
this is something.
They have a bunch of reasons. You know how every jersey.
Let's hear it. What are the reasons?
The stripes on this are for this.
Yeah, that's, honestly, again, that's like shooting an arrow and pointing painting a
literally.
bullseye around it. It's like, here's what the artistic design was. Now let's make up a bunch of shit about it afterwards. So what does it say?
So I'll read it out here. The Stanley Cup, the rendering of Lord Stanley Cup, naturally serves as the focal point of the identity system, a celebration of hockey's most enduring and cherished trophy. The banner behind the Stanley Cup. Rafters, banners are a symbol of team and individual excellence. The raising of Stanley Cup championship banner represents the pinnacle of NHL team achievement. Then they talk about the font choices. 2 bespoke typefaces have been created, a nod to both the beauty and history of this iconic trophy, as well as the birthplace of the NHL. What are the... Okay. Windsor Sands. Inspired by the facade of the Windsor Hotel in Montreal, Quebec, where the NHL was founded on November 26, 1917. Victoria Serif, inspired by the hand-engraved letter forms that decorate the bowl and collar of the Stanley Cup. The Shield is the NHL logo. The Shield serves as the unifying symbol of the league's 32 member clubs. That is their reasosoning behind the new playoff logo. That was a waste of time.
We're all worse people for having listened to that.
That was a giant waste of time.
We have less time to live than we did 2 minutes ago.
That's true.
Technically true.
I'm exhausted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's cool that it means all that to somebody.
No.
To like 8 guys.
Here's the thing. It means that to no one.
Yeah.
No one cares. Not a one. You know, our team lost in the first round, but the logo's cool.
At least we got to wear that on our jersey. That's the one they wear that's the patch they wear on their shoulder, right? Don't they wear like a?
I assume the top piece, not the NHL, like that little thing. I think that'll be the new jersey logo. Yeah.
Do you remember the NHL 2000 logo when it was like 2000 and they had NHL in the zeros?
Yes,
that was the best one that they ever came up with.
Here's the thing. No, I don't.
I remember because of the video games.
Yeah, because I had the game and Chris Pronger was on the front, and he had the NHL 2000 thing on his logo.
Wait, was it red?
No, it was black and white.
Then I don't know.
Okay.
No,
you don't. Hold on. I'm going to pull it up.
I remember everything. I remembered a season-specific Vesitoskala stat earlier this show.
You don't remember that?
No.
Or the 2000 NHL?
No.
Yeah? No?
No. And you know why I don't remember it? Look at it. It sucks.
I liked it.
Fart.
Wow.
Fart.
That's so mean.
Tomato.
So mean.
Like that's the Pronger jersey Adam was talking about.
Fart.
By the way,
that's pretty sick.
That's sick.
Like,
by the way, those are the best Blues jerseys in history. Fight me.
Is it sick or is it a patch on an already good jersey?
That jersey is the best. That's the best Blues jersey there ever was.
That's cool.
It is. Tomato.
What's wrong with you?
Hey, I'm Steve, and I'm here to fart on your ideas. Tomato, tomato.
I woke up this morning to that news.
Oh god!
And it put me back to sleep.
Oh, the NHL Stanley Cup thing.
Did you get like a thing in your inbox or?
No, I was just scrolling Twitter and I thought, oh, I'm ready to tackle the day.
Can we move on? Because I want to do a call out for anybody who did something over the week or today.
Okay.
Today they can complete the trifecta.
Ooh.
Okay, go ahead.
The Toronto trifecta of Ohio. So over the weekend, the Cleveland Monsters played the Toronto Marlies. Sunday night, the Toronto Raptors played the Cleveland Cavaliers. Monday night, the Toronto Maple Leafs played the Columbus Blue Jackets. All 3 Toronto teams are in Columbus. Isn't that crazy? Or
in Ohio.
In Ohio. I wonder if anybody did the Toronto trifecta this weekend and went to all 3 of those games.
I would love to.
That'd be kind of cool, right?
You have to prove it with your ticket, though.
Ticket stubs.
Yeah.
If you went to go see the Marlies, the Raptors, and the Leafs all in the span of like 2 days.
But don't send us that shit if it's pre-game, because that barcode can be ripped off the internet and printed out. So please don't do that.
Yeah.
But do it after.
I want a picture of you in the stands at all 3 events.
There you go.
I want that.
That's
right?
So cool.
Right?
I like that.
I thought it was so odd to schedule.
Oh.
Like, how does that line up?
Oh, thank you, Jesse. I needed something
By the way,
that I found remotely interesting to get me back into the show.
Ohio is more interesting and better than people give it credit for. Ohio gets a ton of shit online, and I like Ohio. Okay,
why?
I enjoyed
Why?
Ohio.
Drew Carey.
I've been to Dayton. Ohio is very nice. I hear Columbus is great. You need to go see a game there.
I like it.
I loved going to see baseball in Cleveland, although at that point when I went, it was right after the crash in downtown Cleveland was a little rough. Because a lot of businesses had closed, right?
Yeah.
But honestly, like I think Ohio, we need to do a Ohio rehabilitation. It's not fair.
My high school drama class in grade 11 took our school trip to Cleveland. Because I think the teacher had just been to every other city that he's like, I guess Cleveland this time.
Cool.
So we went to Cleveland for a weekend and saw like 2 plays because it's drama. That's what you do on your drama high school club.
Did you toilet paper their house?
Who?
Your teacher?
No.
You should have.
For bringing us to Cleveland for our class trip. Yeah. It was
that's pretty rough.
I think it was a personal decision on them, and they was like, oh, just take the kids to Cleveland. Because they'd already done New York. They'd done Pittsburgh the last couple of years, so they
did Cleveland.
Yeah.
So if you're Canadian, like Cleveland is close enough that you could drive, far enough that it's an enormous pain in the ass.
Yeah,
and they chose Cleveland.
Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah.
I liked our Halifax trip.
Nice city.
That
rules.
Where'd you guys go?
Halifax. Halifax.
Oh,
that
that's
was a
awesome.
spectacular grade 8 spectacular time. That was so much fun.
Oh, I thought you were talking about my bachelor party, and then I remembered you
I
didn't
didn't
go.
No, I had to work.
You went to Halifax for grade 8?
Yeah.
Oh,
wow.
dude.
It was amazing.
We didn't
and
have
then
a
we
grade
did.
8 trip.
We drove like an hour and a half away. You went to Halifax?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Damn.
Yeah, it was great.
Good for
And
you.
it was like a cheap trip too. Like every kid, it was like $100 or something. But I remember I was in, God, where is it? Wherever the Blue Nose 2 is stationed, because the Blue Nose is the Canadian racing ship that everybody talks about. It's on our dime. Yeah. Have you never heard about that? It won a bunch of international competitions. Lunenburg.
The little guy on the dime.
Oh, I know. I just didn't know. I just thought it was a boat.
Yeah. Man, no, the Blue Nose is huge.
I don't know.
So there's a Blue Nose 2, because I think the original Blue Nose.
No, it's not. The dime is the tiniest one.
No, the Blue Nose 2 is a recreation, because the Blue Nose 1, like, I think it sank or rotted or something like that. It was made of wood.
How'd that happen to a boat?
I know, 100 years ago, man.
Yeah.
That happened. But we were in Lunenburg, and I remember our teachers told us, they're like, you can't. There's the Blue Nose 2 museum, and Lunenburg looks like it's on a hill, right? It's all on a hill, and so it's like you have to stay in the Blue Nose 2 museum. So me and my
You have to
friends,
stay.
stay in the museum. The museum might be 4 rooms, like it's not huge, and
Dude, in 5 minutes.
yeah. And so we simply left. And
Well, yeah.
and so we had water guns, and we were like playing in the streets of Lunenburg. And then one of us had a watch and looked at it and said, we better get back, because they're going to get back on the bus. And I'll never forget it, because it's like they said, if you leave this, we'll send you home. and so we walked up to the door, and we're like, open the emergency. We're trying to get them to open the emergency door, like our friends. And one of the students is looking at me, and he's just looking like, that guy in Austin Powers who's about to get run over by a Michael McDonald, right? And then all of a sudden, our teacher, Mr. Whitaker, walks right by in the hall, and you can see it's like a T, right? Does not. If he had looked to the right even slightly, we were gone. We were home. We suspended probably too, like big shit.
100%.
And he didn't look by, and all of us would. It was to that point in my life the most terrified I've ever been for about 3 seconds. And you know how it takes you like half an hour to come down from that? I remember being on the bus afterwards and just sitting there and like just shaking. Like, I can't believe that happened.
And what's hilarious is if he had seen you, he would, Adam, get over here. And then you would have, and then you would have gone.
That would have been
fine.
And it's my parents would have given me so much trouble if I'd wasted their money that way. Anyway, long story short, let's get into the press conference. Growing up, what did your favorite kind of cereal have on it?
Sugar.
That's right. What else?
Not too much sugar, because that's really spicy.
Hey, no, it upset my stomach when I have too much sugar. And that's why you can't eat this stuff anymore. When you get to be an adult, your stomach gets more sensitive. Also, you're just probably not moving as much. Junk food does not go the way that it used to.
I think this all stems from when Adam was a kid, he accidentally grabbed the cayenne pepper and put it on the cereal.
Listen.
And
Yeah.
sugar's not red.
What you need in your life is Magic Spoon. Okay? You need Magic Spoon. 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, and only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving. 140 calories a serving. It's keto friendly. It's gluten friendly. It's grain free. It's soy free, and it is low carb. And you can build your own box. The available flavors. These are great. Cocoa, fruity frosted, peanut butter, blueberry, cinnamon, cookies and cream, and maple waffle.
Jalapeno.
Not maple. No.
There's no jalapeno?
There is no
Cookies and
jalapeno.
cream Thank goodness
Sounds
for
so
you.
Good.
It does sound good, doesn't
one?
it?
Cookies and cream.
Okay, so listen. The promo code is SDP. Go to magicspoon.com/SDP.
How do you spell SDP?
SDP.
No.
You grab a custom bundle of cereal and be sure to use our promo code. What is it again?
Magicspoon.com/SDP.
Thank you.
Jesse made me laugh.
At checkout, just save $5 off your order. Magic Spoon is so confident you'll like their product. It's backed by a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Remember, get your next delicious bowl of guilt-free cereal at magicspoon.com/SDP. Use the promo code SDP to save $5 off. Hey, do you need to get a car this year and you're terrible at negotiating for a car?
This feels pointed.
Maybe you're like Steve and they're like, hey, the cost of your car went up $1. And he said, no, I won't pay it. And they said, well, you have to. And he said, okay.
Man,
That happened.
if only I had a guy named Edmund in my corner.
That's right. It wouldn't happen with Edmonds, would it?
No.
So listen, Edmunds is long-term road tested, okay? Basically, the current car shortage means that some models are harder to find or more expensive than usual. They are highlighting the importance for you of being flexible and considering other brands, models, vehicle types, things that you might like that you hadn't even thought about. The Edmunds homepage has car rankings compiled by their review editors. From there, you can kind of pick the car that you want. You can do side-by-side comparisons. It's really cool. Over 50 years of trusted car shopping advice and price guidance all in one place. Unbiased research, reviews, and industry expertise help empower you, the car shopper, to make the right decision. And there's free online tools and dealer quotes as well that hopefully won't go up $1 after you agree to them.
You know why I like this? They have power rankings. They have Edmunds car rankings, where they have like the best car rankings, and that reminds me of sports.
That's right. They have Stephen A. Edmunds on there giving you his weekly power car rankings.
Wins above replacement.
That's right.
Dollars above loss.
It's preposterous.
Miles above replacement.
Car shopping can be overwhelming. Edmunds is here to help. Visit Edmunds.com and click on Edmunds Best Car Rankings to research and compare vehicles. That's Edmunds, EDMUNDS.com. Edmunds, we drive it like it is.
The Presser. SDP. The Steve Dangle Press Conference.
As long as we're talking about random Nova Scotia museums, this is one of the most random things I've ever encountered. There's a museum there, I can't remember what it's called, where you can basically find a bunch of immigration records. And it contained the immigration records.
Oh, the Pier 21, right?
That's
it. That's the Pier.
Pier something. And it contained the records for a ship that we know my Nona came over to Canada on.
Oh, that's cool.
And there was a station within the museum where you could look up a bunch of information on Canadian history. And there was one about the Christie Pitts riots.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for those of you who don't know what the Christie Pitts riots are, there was a baseball game in Toronto where there was a team of mostly Jewish players and a bunch of basically anti-Semitic Nazi supporters came to like heckle them, and then there was a fight, and a bunch of Italians joined the Jewish baseball players and it was a big thing in Toronto. Anyway, then they showed footage of a baseball game they play at Christie Pitts every year to basically
commemorate this.
And playing catcher was LeafsNation.com reporter David Alter.
Oh, wow.
I was like, what are you doing in this museum video? It was very strange. And if you know David Alter, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, David is one of the more interesting people I've ever met in my entire life. There's stuff that he does. I'm like, I would never have pegged you for that. Ever. Yeah. Love David. Hi, David.
If I ever took a trip to Mars, it would not surprise me if he was just like, hey.
You're here too?
Yeah. I was just checking it out.
Jesse, first question.
But he used Waze to get there, and it took him forever.
Can I tell you guys what happened to me Friday night on our stream?
Tell me.
So Friday night, we're in the second round of the playoffs. We're facing the Tampa Bay Lightning. It's a big deal. We're doing calendar sim. We're simming via the calendar because that's where our team's going to be better. We lost in 7 games to the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Oh, again?
So we're like 10 minutes, because the first thing we did, because that's where we were at the end of the last stream. So I'm there. I'm like, okay, so this stream is supposed to be like an hour, and I'm sitting here, and we lost, and it's over. So me and the crowd people were like, okay, let's do a speed run of a season. So I'm going to try and go through the entire season and get to next season and next playoffs as fast as I can. Wow. Because the only thing that matters with the Leafs is how they do in the playoffs. It's become the same thing with our fake NHL 22 team. The only thing that matters is how we do in the playoffs.
Okay.
I speed run to the next playoff. We do a little drafting because we have no draft picks, so we traded them all for good players. All our free agents, we didn't really have any free agents. We just had to re-sign everybody. We do that real quick. I do an entire NHL 22 season I got 56 minutes. So I did an entire season in 56 minutes.
Wow.
We're in round 1 of the playoffs again. It's round 1 of the playoffs. We finished the season. First time ever, we won the President's Trophy.
Wow.
On the speed run season, our Toronto Maple Leafs, we win the President's Trophy. First time I've ever done that in NHL 22. Awesome. We are up against the New York Islanders. President's Trophy, obviously, we're the 1 seed versus the 8 seed. We are going to do a calendar sim because that is the most accurate way to get the results of the team. We sim through. We're up 3-2 in the series, I believe.
Oh,
and
no.
then the Toronto Maple Leafs, after winning the President's Trophy, lose in the first round to the New York Islanders.
Wow. Yo, I wonder if there's just a joke where they're like, not even going to do it.
Boy, did I hear it.
Like how years ago, the guy who came up with the stats for NHL was just like, Cliff Ronning is going to be God. And he just made him extremely good in the game. Toronto chokes in the playoffs.
It was unbelievable. Like, I've never had a better season ever. And for some reason, we lost again in the first round of playoffs. So
you even changed your strategy?
Yeah, we changed. Our team is unbelievable. I had it here up on the screen who our forward group is right now. We have a number 1 overall pick. I had traded Quentin Byfield plus 2 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks for the previous year's number 1 overall pick.
Holy shit, Jesse!
His name's I think Donovan Patan. He's a creative player, obviously, but I have another franchise player, and he's playing on the first line with Matthews.
Babs already hates him.
Wasn't even good enough.
Wow.
Couldn't do it. Anyway, so I wanted to let you guys know that everything is still painful.
Is this 10 seasons, no cups now?
We are 8 seasons.
8 seasons?
8 seasons in. 5 consecutive years, we've either been the best team in the league or the second best. 1 or 2 in the entire standings. We haven't made it past the second round in those 5.
You're the little Sharks. You're the Sharks from last decade. You're literally San Jose.
Yeah, it's crazy. Anyways,
what is Matthews' salary?
We got Matthews at a deal. We got him. I think it's 10. It's like 10.1 or something. Yeah.
We took a pay cut.
Yeah, we stole him for like 8 years at like 10.1 or something stupid.
Oh,
Adam Fox is the highest paid player on our team. We have Adam Fox, by the way.
Yeah. No, I do remember that.
Adam Fox has won back-to-back Norris trophies for us. Matthews has a heart. Matthews has a rocket. Our goalie is incredible.
This is a sick joke.
It's literally the game is trolling us.
Who's your goalie?
So we have this kid named Hugo Allenfeld. I call him Allenfeld, but that's not how you pronounce his last name. I can't pronounce it.
That's amazing.
And Kevin Hawes. We had John Gibson, but John Gibson wanted too much money, so we let him go. But we run Allenfeld and Hawes as a tandem, and they have like a .930 save percentage up until the playoffs. Mm-hmm. So if you want to watch me lose again in the first round, stream it again on Wednesday.
Also, Vasilevsky has to be like 35.
Yeah, he's stupid. He knocked us out. The Lightning had no one. Anyways. I'm upset. I was really upset.
Oh my god!
At the end of that last stream on Friday, it wasn't fun. And yeah, everybody gave me shit. Also, I changed the 4th line, and people were like, "The reason you lost is because you changed the 4th line." No, we're the President's Trophy winners.
Who had a lead in game? Oh man,
that's what it's like to be a Leaf fan. Even through Jesse.
I'm happy to end the show here.
Oh,
God.
Let me get the questions. Also, yeah, so if anybody does the Ohio trio this past weekend, let us know.
I'm staring right at your screen. I can't read any of it.
You don't want to...
That's crazy.
What's crazy?
No, he can't read anything on your screen.
No,
yeah, how bad are your eyes?
It's just like distance reading, but apparently also not distance. I can see both your faces fine.
Well, that's good.
I've started to wear glasses while I play hockey.
Steve.
It sucks.
First question. Can you answer the LFR question that you gave out to everybody on Saturday about the Ducks?
I don't remember it.
The Leafs TikTok question that you kept hammering away about the life-size ducks fighting or something like
that. Would you rather fight 100 duck-sized horses or 1 horse-sized duck?
Oh, God. Duck-sized horses.
Yeah, 100%.
A horse-sized duck would scare the shit out of me with that beak.
Yeah, because like I feel like
you've seen them eat, right?
Horses are big and strong, but they're mammals, so they have like compassion.
Yeah.
And sort of like birds don't give a fuck.
It's competitive. It's because they're very competitive.
They're very competitive, and they will kill you with no thought or remorse.
Yeah. Yeah.
So to give that the size of a horse, you're gonna beat how much a horses weigh? You're gonna beat like a 600-700 pound duck.
You want to see a duck-sized horse? Or sorry, a horse-sized duck? It's called a fucking swan. I hate swans. My daughter's obsessed with swans and geese, and we have a pond near our house.
She's wrong.
I walk up.
You're her father. Tell her she's wrong.
She's wrong.
Yeah.
First off, they shit everywhere.
Yes.
It's like just carpet bombing shit all everywhere. And then secondly, you go up to them in the pond and they swim up to you and they're like, I want bread. And if you don't have bread, they will nip you.
I got bit by a Canadian goose.
I remember outside the Best Buy in Oshawa.
No,
Oh.
they just tried to. No,
That one
when I
was
was a kid,
dive-bombing
it
people.
bit me right on the thumb. It hurt like hell.
Oh, I bet it did. They have little teeth on the end of their beak too.
Yeah,
I
they
think
do, little asshole.
All right.
Piece of shit.
Are you
Asshole
ready
teeth.
for your first real question?
Let's go.
I needed a little bit of time to pull up the actual game. So we have another Steve's Memory Challenge.
Oh.
This is from Trofall. 08-09 season. Game number 6.
Pretty garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Early.
2
That helps.
parts. Opponent, what odd thing happened in this game? The game ended 3-2 in a shootout.
Oh boy.
So I don't get an opponent?
I want you to give us the opponent.
Okay, 08-09.
Don't look at my screen.
I'm
Fucking
I can't.
cheater.
08-09. 08-09. So, Steven Stamkos has just been drafted first overall. Drew Doughty second. This is the year I covered junior. Come on, Steve. This is the year I covered junior. This is the Tavares Hedman draft. The Leafs do not do well. This is the year before they got Kessel, because that would help. I would tell you they lost, because I know the Leafs lost the first 6 games of that season, but this is the season before.
Adam, I'm very interested to see if you remember that this thing happened.
Was the opponent the Anaheim Ducks?
Did he get it?
Yes.
Shut up. So here's why I know.
Fucking crazy man.
Here's why I know what happened in this game. I was there.
Oh wow!
I'm almost positive I was there.
Tell me what happened.
This is like 20 questions. It's so fucking unreal.
Vesatoskala
2 hints.
Vesatoskala played the whole game, and they pulled him and put Curtis Joseph in for the shootout, and they lost. George Parros scored on a breakaway. I do remember that.
George
That's it.
Parros scored.
That's
Well-
what happened.
So that was hilarious, because you get to hear all the micro reactions of the crowd. They go, "Oh shit, it's a breakaway! Oh, it's George Parros. Fuck, he scored!"
Oh man.
Let me read you the game summary from the Associated Press. This is October 22nd, 2008. Maple Leafs coach Ron Wilson played the percentages and still couldn't get Toronto a shootout win. When Toronto and Anaheim were tied after overtime, Wilson pulled starting goaltender Vesatoskala for backup Curtis Joseph.
Because Toskala's shootout numbers were garbage.
But despite Joseph's lower scoring percentages in shootouts, Corey Perry and Timo Solani beat Joseph to give the Ducks a 3-2 win Tuesday night. I was playing the percentages, Wilson said. I'm not going to hesitate to do that until we get Tosk a little more practice. A different way of thinking.
In the shootout?
On stopping the other team in shootouts. I had nothing to lose. Well, you had the game to lose.
Fuck.
Do you remember that happening, Adam?
I don't fucking
No,
remember
me
that.
neither.
No. Not at all.
Can you show me the box score?
Yeah, that's right.
Potentially. I know Parros scored.
Oh.
I don't remember anything.
Box score.
Wow.
Yep, there he is.
Yeah.
In how much ice time?
5:27. 8 shifts all game.
Jesus. That's where we have come from. We should be thanking our lucky
I
stars
know.
that our goalies are playing in an 876
I know.
right now.
Who is in? Was Jonas Hiller in that? Who
Boy,
was in
that's so bad.
that? I know.
That's so bad.
Boscheman was on the Ducks.
They don't
Wow.
have the goalies.
Pre-Leafs Boscheman.
Pre-Leafs Boscheman. Good Scheman. Actually, pre and post Leafs. he was
Oh.
good.
You just badged
J.S.
him in here.
J.S. Jaguar on the Ducks.
Future Leaf or former Leaf at that point?
Future.
Future Leaf
yeah.
at that point.
2008.
Oh my god, I hate it.
Absolutely hilarious.
Hate
That's so good. I can't believe I got that.
Boy.
Wow.
Mhm.
But yeah, like I probably went to not very many games that season, and I went to that one.
Last thing.
Okay.
I just gotta pull up the information. We're gonna be doing a fun thing on Fridays on our social media accounts. So we're gonna call it SDP Fan Fridays. So you're gonna, SDPN Fan Fridays. SDPN Fan Fridays. You're gonna use the hashtag SDPN Fan Fridays on your Instagram stories or on. You got to tag at SDPN Sports, obviously, on your Instagram story, so we can repost. Or on Twitter, use the hashtag SDPN Fan Fridays. Everybody who tweets out themselves either wearing SDPN merch, watching one of our shows on the podcast app or on the YouTube, just tweet out a picture of you doing whatever SDPN, and then you use the hashtag SDPN Fan Fridays. You'll be entered to win a $50 gift card from our store.
Oh, cool.
And we'll be doing that every Friday. Our mods will tweet it out, or our social media managers will tweet it out that SDPN Fan Fridays has kicked off, and then you'll be entered, and then we'll announce the winner every Monday. That kicks off this coming Friday. So if you have some gear, get your photo ready. If you're watching the show on Friday, get your screenshot. If you're watching the show or you doing whatever, just tweet out an SDPN thing you're doing and use the hashtag and tag us at SDPN Sports, and you'll be entered to win that gift card, and we'll announce the winner every Monday.
I like that very much.
I like that. That's huge. That's so cool. Okay. Love that. All right. So we'll be back Wednesday. Don't forget, there's another CJ show. And do we have an Noxie and Cax tomorrow?
Yes, we do.
New Noxie and Cax tomorrow as well.
Gold medal winner on the show.
Which one?
You have to listen to find out.
What? Gold medal winner on the show tomorrow.
Yep.
Keith Olbermann?
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.